Yes. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Well, hello. Welcome back, or welcome to my documentation station. Take these off now because that's fucking with me. Yeah. So some changes have been made to the Grove. If you haven't known, or you won't know. I'm all out of sorts. I have like 25,000 things going on at once right now. And to kind of help with that, we are going to do some dabs. Or at least I'm gonna take a little bit of the medicine, as I like to call it. Got some GG4, Sleepers GG4. I don't know how I feel about it. It's all right. And then we got some THCA. Just gonna put some of that on there. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've been going nonstop since I kind of had this epiphany. Uh-oh. Hold on. Cheers if you got it. Oh. Oh. All right. Holy pickle. So if you're not new to the show, and you've kind of seen this a couple times, you will notice that I don't have, here, let me just, I can go to the main screen, hold on. So, this is how I normally rock the show. And if there's a certain lady watching, she should know these pictures. However, and anyways, let's head back. I'm using my phone right now as far as cameras go. So this is normally the camera that I kind of use to stream with. Oh, it's a 4K camera. It's alright, but when my tent is open like it is now, the screen is all orange and you can't see anything, and plus this phone is just a better camera overall and or in general anyways, as opposed to the webcam. So I think we're on day 110. So I'm having humidity issues, and you keep in mind my whole system is a closed loop system. So the air was being sucked out through the top, being pulled out through the exhaust fan, and shot straight into the air conditioner dehumidifier. And then that goes right back into the bottom vents of the grow. So the air is in a closed loop recirculating system. Now, I've never had to use the humidity before, but my plants have not been this big. So I haven't really had to worry about it or use it. So, fast forward to, I need the humidity to be down to a certain level. And with the tent closed, it's just not getting there. So I turn the air conditioner, fan, whatever combo, I turn that on to dehumidifier. Now, I thought it was going to run a motor, get some coils going, evaporate the water that's in the air, and just shoot some dry air back in there. I didn't think it was gonna pull an air conditioning effect and start cooling the tent. I don't want it to get cooler. I need it to actually get a little bit warmer. I'm fine where the heat is now. Could it be better? Yeah. However, it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. The heat is the last and least of my concerns at the moment. I just want to make sure, you know, we're at decent levels everywhere else that we need to be. But you know, every time I open the tent, like right now, the humidity is at 35%. When I close that thing, it jumps up to 70. And then, you know, the fans and the circulation kicks on, it drops it down to probably like 61. But then, you know, it's still an issue. So that's kind of a bummer. So I'm like, what can I do here? And I was talking to my buddy the other day, and the conclusion that we kind of got to is I'm going to have to cut the loop. I have to cut the closed loop in half. So where the fan that pulls the air out blows into the air conditioning unit, I cut that cord. So now when it pulls the air out, it's just pulling it out into this room. So no humid air is going back into the tent. And we'll see how that works out when it fills up this little living area I'm in. Because these things are going to start breathing hard and heavy. They already are. Like, you know, I did need that humidifier that was in there. I'm going to actually pull that out. That's going to be one of the changes, you know, that I was mentioning in this video. So basically right now I'm in the middle of a huge rework in here. Now that I realized, because I did a little test before, you know, I started taking everything apart. But I disconnected the connector tube from the fan, the air conditioning unit, and the humidity inside the tent dropped dramatically. And that was with outside air kind of like blowing in. So it worked. So that was eye-opening, which means in between these two fans, there used to be a big old black charcoal filter. And I was just sitting in there taking up a whole bunch of fucking room. It kind of bummed me out because that's a lot of real estate that I lost. However, now that I'm not doing a closed loop setup, I took the charcoal filter out and I set it on the outside. Now the fan is still pulling the air out and across the top of the tent. You know what? I'll just show you right now really quick. And then I'll come back down and sit down and enjoy myself here. All right. So you can see I still have, I'm probably gonna get another one of those covers, and I'm gonna put it up on here just to make it look nice, nice and uniform and sealed off, because those things have like they have covers, and so no bugs and stuff can crawl in. Anyway, so we go up to the top of the tent. The air gets pulled over this way. And now the fan is sitting on top of the charcoal filter. So, and luckily I kept this. I was going to return this, just like a little rubber middle piece to help with the vibration and stuff. Now you see this used to be hooked directly up to that. And that's what I severed the cord to, and it worked really well. Now I want to make sure though that I have this pulling air in from not right here, because this is all the moist air that's being pulled out. So I'm gonna try to redirect this probably that way somehow. But this is still very useful. This still blows air. If you weren't sure, sorry, it's a mess because I'm redoing stuff. But this air conditioning unit comes down into a splitter and goes into each side of the bottom of the tent. So I'm still gonna use this as a fan, if not an air conditioner. When that thing starts budding and putting off heat, plus the lights turned up, probably gonna need to use the air conditioner. But that also has a coil in it, which makes me kind of think about rehooking everything up, but not gonna do it. But now, you know, I can move these fans, obviously. but I have all of this real estate. So before, where I was probably gonna let it get like right below, I might let these things get a little bit bigger before I start flowering them. That's awesome news for me. And you know, while we're here, we can just take a look. Like, dude. Alright, so tip to tip. That's about as big as my hand. Tip to tip. Tip to tip. These things are looking good. I just changed the reservoir, I guess you could say this morning. Well, yesterday morning, because now it's the next day. But I just changed the reservoir. So it's going to be the last time that they're getting, well, maybe not. If I keep this, because now, you know, I was going to flip it at the end of the month because I assumed, which I was right, that, you know, they're going to be about where I wanted them to be. But now I got more room to work with. Ay. Decisions. Well, we're going to see where these get by the end of this month, because my goal, or the plan was anyway, to flip this at the end of this month, the flowering. But now with the setup, it kind of changes everything. However, so I'm going to be pulling this thing out. Now the cool thing is, I'm going to scoot these a little closer together, but that will give me room here, here, and here. And I want to get some underlights. You could set them up like in between, like I was talking about, or like the ones I was talking about getting magnetized onto these bars. So you could really get a good coverage of light. So I don't know if you guys are noticing these white cliffs, but I just got my 3D printer back and working again. And now the design of these clips are really thin and they are not as good as these orange ones. However, they're doing the job just fine for now. And either way, no matter if I keep going beyond this for vegging, there is going to be a trellis put up on these bars, but I don't want to put it up too soon and block any potential light from getting to the plant. Yeah, guys, that's a really good top view. That's a lot. That thing has spread out, but that's also due to the bending that I've been doing. Now this one was crazy compared to this one, but now this one somehow got ahead of this one. Either way, they're both doing really well. And especially when they get to the trellis or whatever. But I mean, you know, like, they're not that tall, but there's so much to them already. And this one, I'm trying to catch this side up. Once these guys start going, and once this guy blooms out a little bit, I'm probably gonna like bend this one a little forward and just kind of space those out, because those are really close. They look like a little forest. This one looks really nice. It looks pretty even for the most part, but this one so far down, and then so far down, and then but that being said, even this one's kind of catching up, and I have to actually probably bend that down and out a little more. Just growing right into that, but like you see, this one would have been growing straight up, but to kind of like cover this area a little bit more, I kind of bent it to the side, and I did the same to the other side to kind of spread it that way a little bit. I feel like I should bend it a little bit more, but whatever, it's fine. I just gotta stop fucking with shit. But these bottom stems are just massive. Eventually, I'm going to cut all the little bushel off so you can see that thing now. But man, oh man, these stems are gnarly. I don't want to wait any longer than next month to start flowering. But I also don't want to waste all this room I got. But we'll see how far. Like, if this thing is literally already spread across the top of this I guess rectangle we'll call it, but I can get it even spread, and there's really no point to grow taller because the whole top's taken up. So that's how I'm going to kind of try to justify still flowering it by next month with everything, is if is if I could just get a nice even spread. And with how everything's growing, and I think I'm gonna top everything maybe one more time, at least on this one. This one, there's so much going on. But I think that'll happen. So I think we'll still be on target to flower by next month, the start of next month. And then it's just like 2 months. 2 months. What's even cooler for me is my birthday is in March. So roughly at the end of my birthday month, oh my god, go in the hole. So yeah, so hopefully by the end of my birthday month, we'll go this way with it. Let's go down so you, there we go. I'll have some good flour. Oh man, if I had a house, let me tell you something. I'd be trying to make some bath bombs. And let me tell you something else. Where I'm at now, I just took a bath for the first time in 4 years. And I'm not gonna tell you why. So don't ask. Maybe if you ask me in the comments and we're still on here live, I'll tell you. Otherwise, I'm not. Oh man, now I just completely forgot everything I was talking about. Okay. Anyway. Oh, bath bombs and taking a bath for the first time. I'm remembering. See, I got it. Took me a second, but I got it. That's a pretty good view. This camera is really nice. I really like having that in the background like that. So we will see how this goes. Theoretically, if we're staying on track, which I'm counting on, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna keep bending these and this should be the last batch of veg nutrients that it gets. If there's still a good amount of water in the reservoir, now it's drinking like a gallon a day. Both of these plants. So I put about 4.5 gallons in there. I think it was like 3 days. Maybe it was 4 days. Yeah, it had to have been 4 days. Yeah, because it was the 23rd and it was on the 7th, 27th, right? Yeah. So, yeah, so it's basically these two plants are drinking a gallon a day. So I put 5 gallons in that and I cleaned the reservoir before so fresh 5 gallons. Actually, I had to pour in a little more to do the EC a little bit. But 5 days from basically yesterday. And I imagine, because I did change the nutrients and I didn't show the pile of leaves I took off this thing again, but I took off a fat pile of leaves again. So it's kind of in like recovery mode. And plus the humidity and it's been all over the place. However, now with the AI and how I have it set up, I just got to make sure it runs right. This should be like perfect anymore. Unless somehow there's so much moisture it builds up in my apartment as well. But I think I have a way to deal with all that anyway. So, worst case scenario, I just get a dehumidifier for my house, I guess. And that way I don't have to put it in the tent or hook it up to the tent. Because as long as it's pulling in some dry air from in here to go into the tent, it should be fine. I would imagine. Don't quote me on that. I'm no expert with all this stuff yet, but I have a feeling. Now, oh, another update. So with the reservoir, you can order with auto pots. There's a stuff called easy to flow. One of the issues I'm having that I didn't realize, like, I thought I could just leave this reservoir for weeks and it would be fine. Not the case. So it almost seems like weekly I might have to clean this thing out. However, and also, that easy to flow stuff is like a bioenzyme, and that stuff I have to worry about usually I won't. And it will actually go down into the system and kind of eat all the gunk in the system, and, you know, kind of on the roots and stuff from my understanding. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But there is, so what's even crazier is, like, this time when I took it apart, and I didn't last time, I looked at the shutoff valve and I kind of wiped it out, and there's this little brown looking weird thing. And it came out, it almost looked like a little piece of toilet paper that was covered in chocolate milk. It was weird. But just to think of that building up right there, now that's right where it's all coming out from, so that's probably the worst. And that it was building up there, so most of it probably got caught there. I don't want that to become a problem in the rest of the system, so I ordered this stuff like a while ago. Last week, actually. And usually Autopot, like 2 days, it's here. And they still haven't even shipped it yet. And then, you know, I call them, leave a message. Well, they actually emailed me and called me back. Good company. I suggest them all around. Customer service, awesome. Normally, turnaround is awesome. However, you know, we just went through that huge ass storm. But the one email said, like, hey man, sorry, you know, just kind of broke shit down and apologized. And then the guy called me. I was like, hey, listen, man, I got an email. Your guy said he was on top of it. He's going to make sure personally it gets handled. And it's like, your company's great. And just with my experience so far, man, this is to clean out the reservoir once a week is so much better than having to pH and make water every day, or you have like a gallon jug that you made, or you pre-make like 7-gallon jugs of food, which sucks. And then after you make it, you have to water it every morning, and as it gets crazier, maybe a couple times. And then, I overwatered it like crazy. Now, that's usually in the flowering part for me. But this, you don't have to, like, you just have to maintain the plant. And it looks so good. It's so stupid. It's so stupid how easy this is. And I love it. I will stand by Autopots as long as I live. When I get a house, like, they have different kinds and shapes, and but I do want to grow some actual, like, food. But I'm curious though, because they say just with the startup kit nutrients, which is what I got, and I've seen videos too to prove it, that that's all you need, and you get crazy bomb harvests. So that, you know, in the spirit of everything new and just sticking with the stuff I got, I'm not gonna go crazy. So that's what we're gonna try. And we're literally right around the corner from all that. But it's really cool though. I'm really excited to, once this water is gone, you know, obviously shut everything, close it off, clean out the reservoir, get it put back together, put a bunch of water in there, just pH water, nothing more, just pH water. And then just like flush it through the line, just like for a good couple minutes, just flush it good, close it off. What's cool is I've put so much water in that reservoir now that I know where at least I precisely can like pour in 2 gallons. So that's pretty cool. So I know when there's at least 2 gallons left in the reservoir. That being said, just with the ppm and the EC, you can figure it out. If you know you get close to with your measuring, And then when you put your meters in there, you can kind of figure out where you need to put stuff in there. But I'm excited to, first of all, flip the cycles. These things have never seen darkness. They're gonna flip out. So that'll be exciting. Again, I'm hoping to see some colors. And I'm really excited that, like, so once they get a little taller and get to where the trellis is gonna be with these bars, you know, obviously I'm gonna have to lift the light up. But that means I'm gonna move the fans as well. So this thing will look different kind of again, which is fine. But I am really excited to see, just like, I am just hoping to have just like a wave, like a sea of buds, like a sea of green, but a sea of buds. So I think I am gonna kind of go through here and try to top this a couple more times. I'm doing my damnedest to not cut any off, because at this point it's crucial to get as many tops as I can get. However, seeing some of these things buried below the other leaves, it's got me wanting to cut a lot of shit. But so this is gonna be kind of the hardest part for me, not touching any of that right now, even kind of the lower stuff, because we're just gonna let whatever make it up there make it. And then once I kind of get everything settled into the trellis, I can see what's down below. Now here's where it gets kind of cool. Or I should just say, when I get those underlights, you know, cutting those off isn't really as important, because I can still get them light. It's gonna be a little different, and part of me thinks I should put a trellis on right now, like at the top where these plants are, for that reason. So when I get the underbuds, if they start hanging down, I could just be fine with that, because there's a trellis, you know, like right here, and it would hold it. So actually, so it might be wise to have like a 3 trellis system right now. Put one where it is right now, and it would actually kind of help me out a little bit, because I can kind of like stretch them out, pull them in between, and then all that little growth isn't gonna fuck with me as much, and I won't need as many of these bendy clips, because I can kind of use the trellis for that. But then like kind of maybe put another one about right here, and possibly, depending on how much this thing stretches, a third one. But you know, I've never done underlighting before. Again, never done LEDs before. So, and the underlights are also LEDs, but I don't know how strong they are. I don't know how far away they need to be from the plant, or like, I don't know what the deal is. I haven't done a lot of research. Not yet, just because, you know, I'm not really there, and I'm trying to put all my focus on this and not fucking shit up. Like, I fucked a lot up in the beginning, and you know, I thought it was just gonna be easy like it was before, but it's a whole different game. And once this is done, the way I'm gonna do it next time is gonna be way different and way more efficient. And especially with now how I know it's got to be set up, I can easily set 2 tents up with that AC unit kind of thing. And part of me, I'm gonna be very conscientious of, sorry, fuck that up, of how much one plant gets me. So I'm gonna try to really mess with one, see where it ends up. Depending on that outcome, my next go around, I will have 2 tents, so that's 4 plants. Now, I like the idea of doing 2 of the same, because they should, in theory, grow about the same rate, and, you know, bud the same. So everything should be pretty much the same, is what I'm getting at. Now, I grow a sativa and, you know, an indica heavy one. One's growing up real fast, the other one's down below. That's where I kind of get worried with maybe trying 4 different strains. You know, like 2 different kinds in each tent. I do have a lot of different kinds of seeds. You know, like I have Sour D, Blue Dream, NBA Sour, Wild Cherry. I got Jack Hare, if I didn't say that already. Pineapple Express, Ricky Bobby crossed with GG4. Like I got a lot to work with, and it would be cool to do different kinds. But again, you know, just like every person has their own needs. Every plant has, you know, they need a little more of this than the other one does, or this one grows a little faster than this one does. And either way, when I really think about it, the speed of it growing shouldn't really matter, because, you know, by bending and topping, theoretically you should be able to keep it the same. But you know, even with the germination, some seeds pop faster than others, and you know, once in the ground, some go, and some are just like kind of hanging out for a minute. So, but then again, you know, like this one on the left, I broke a main stem off twice, and this one, the one on the right, just, it was solid the whole time. Like everything was perfect the whole time, and it was well beyond this one on the left. And it's, I don't know what the hell happened, but through my topping and just bending things, now the one on the left somehow it looks like it just looks that way because everything is so bunched up on this one on the right. Like there is so much closeness going on there. Like if I didn't cut the leaves all the time, like they'd be in there just like on each other, like, hey man, need some light, and then like start molding almost. So I'm really actually looking forward to getting the trellis put on this thing so I can kind of stretch them out, spread them, and that'll really do this plant some good for sure. And I'm having issues too where some of these branches are so long, and it's not like these long branches are coming off a main branch. Like, so there's the main branch, and then that has an offshoot, and then that gets kind of pretty big. So now the main branch is holding its own big ass weight, plus this other one that's doing pretty good. And then that other one has an offshoot that gets long and stretchy. And that's like bobbing the plant every time. So I had to pull that one down and kind of take it sideways because that thing shot up real quick. That was dangerous. That one was dangerous. I was gonna show you, but I'm not doing all that right now. But I'm pretty excited. This thing by far has been even with me not changing the reservoir the first couple weeks or whatever, this thing has still been pretty healthy. And now I've been basically changing the reservoir and wiping it down and cleaning it every week, and it's just beautiful, man. It is a beautiful thing. But yeah, you notice if you look at my plants, you don't see a lot of big leaves, but that's also, I like to take those off when I'm pulling stuff down, because when they get big like that one is that you can see right there, when they get that big, first of all, they're using lots of nutrients. They might be bringing in some good nutrients, but them being there, they're using up a lot as well. But they add a lot of weight to the stem, and you know, you want your stem to get thick, but it takes time. And when you got a bunch of offshoots and you're growing them all up, and those are getting thick with their own bunches of leaves getting big, you know, that's gonna weigh that. So I also like to stay on top of stuff for that reason. So my plant, most of the time when it hits a certain point of veg, always kind of looks like it's lollipopped. But again, I do that so most of the growth goes to the tips, And so, you know, it goes to the tips and the stems getting stronger. I haven't done this in a long time, and I haven't used autopod, so hopefully, you know, this isn't a sensitive plant, and hopefully it's not all hermied out. There could be all sorts of issues when I start flowering this thing that I don't know about until it happens. But it's been a pretty healthy plant, so I'm hoping and just counting on it being all right. Even if it's not, though, shit, I can still bubble bag it, and just that's some good stuff right there. But I believe that they should be fine. I can't believe how healthy and just how good it's doing overall. Which is it. One day it just started exploding with growth. It was just like nothing in there, and then boom. Pretty exciting. I am gonna put a couple spacers in there, move some stuff around a little bit. But that's crazy. There's so much more room to work with now. We're just gonna have to wait to the end of the month to see what we do. I don't doubt we're just gonna flower it, but there might be a day or two because of the reservoir that we let it go extra. Just a day or two. But I'm getting antsy, and I want to see colors. This thing should have some kind of purples to it, maybe blues. Ooh. But I'm also like, so Blue Dream is my favorite, hands down, one of my favorite strains, and I did just get some Blue Dream seeds, and like, so if I do it like I did this time, like just the same strain, 2%, just to have 2 full plants of Blue Dream, I'd be in heaven. Especially like fresh. I haven't had like fresh, like straight off the farm kind of weed in so long. Probably like since I grew it last, and that's a while ago. But I've never had, you know, when I was doing it back then, we weren't 100% sure which strains they were, except one time I knew it was a GG4 clone, and the buds were so big, and I'm thinking it's the bud candy I was using. But the buds were so big, I could barely fit 2 into a Ziploc bag, and they were so long that like I couldn't even close it. Like I had to clip these big, they were like fucking pine cones. It was I've never had a strain like that, but that GG4, it was huge. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like that. So I don't know if that's because of how I was growing it or what the deal was, but man, if I can get these to be like that, because this is a cross between Blue Dream and Skittles, and you know Blue Dream's bomb, and Skittles is also super bomb flavor wise. So I've never had the combo. This will be my first time as well. The hardest part is gonna be after, you know, cutting it down, drying it, but then it's still not even done. You gotta cure that shit for probably like another month, at least. It's a bag of dicks, but I'm pretty excited about it either way. Because eventually, once I get that, and I have that, I should, by the time I can actually like use this, I should have already started the other ones. So while those are going, I should have this to keep me occupied and busy, and just like, because I can't stop thinking about this shit right now. Like I'm looking at it every second on my phone while I'm at work with my cameras, and I can't stop. I'm obsessed. So it will be a good peace of mind to have something to work with, or to, you know, make some bath bombs, stuff like that. And have some like what I know are clean, chemical free, you know, buds. Because I will give this a proper flush and, you know, nothing but water, all that good stuff at the end. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. I'm really excited. So yeah, so as a recap, I know I've just been talking and rambling. As a recap, got rid of the air filter inside the tent. It is now outside the tent. It is not closed loop anymore. The connection has been cut. So eventually we can raise the lights up to the tippy top of the tent, which means I can potentially let it go past this bar for flowering. However, we also established if I can just get this to look like a solid rectangle of green on the top, it doesn't matter how tall it is. Because, you know, there's a whole bunch of tops, so it's like, but we're pretty much close to that right now. And when I bend a couple more of these and push them outwards a little bit, like the one I already pulled down yesterday, so it was one branch, hold it down, now it has 3 tips. You know what, I'll show you. Fuck it. Let me just unplug this. Here we go. Alright. So, I just pulled this one down yesterday. And these things weren't really shit yet. But now as you can see, 1, 2, and this one that has the main one and one on each side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one on the other side. Just in one tip. Now that's gonna, you know, like I'll probably pull this down a little bit over here. Unless this catches up, which it looks like it's getting kind of close. Same with this one. Kind of getting close, sort of. But remember that really long one that was off the side of the main one? So here is the main chute. It branches off to this guy, which branches off into this super long one. Like, this thing is so long. So freaking long. Like, it was seriously, like, it was above everything else. I had to pull that fucker down. And it's got 2 tops. So now, you can see, this thing is starting, like, I gotta remember to turn autofocus on. Wait, can I do that right now? I don't see anything about autofocus. Whatever. That's fine. But this thing already has a couple different tops going on it. So now that's gonna fill that hole. Now that I pulled that down, like you can see over here, it's all gonna swell out. So this one, I'm gonna pull it a little more over this way when it gets taller, but that's gonna swell out. And then we're just working on this corner. And that's what part of this is doing. So this is gonna kind of branch out and swell out. So we just got this little tiny gap. But you can see these two are almost meeting already. They're pretty close. And plus I'm gonna probably push them closer together. And I wanna take this thing out. So I got a little more work to do. Yeah, man, these things are looking awesome. So proud of these little ladies. And looks like the time-lapse cameras are still going. That's cool. Fuck yeah, dude. Definitely by far the best grow I've ever had so far. I know things can always go bad. What was scary is when I just recently changed my reservoir. Come on, go in the friggin' hole. There we go. So, other way. So, when I just changed my reservoir, it was scary because I was in the tent chopping shit down, and all of a sudden I don't hear my pump anymore. It just kind of got silent. And then all of a sudden I hear it working again. I was like, okay, that was weird. So I start chopping shit down, and then it goes silent. It's like, what the fuck's going on? I open it, there's like no water in this thing, and I didn't have any water left. So I tilt the reservoir so all the water goes to that corner of it, and I make a Walmart Plus order. I ordered 12 gallons of distilled water. 3 hours later, I had some. It's so crazy you can just do that. But yeah, and then I filled it up with 5 gallons, cleaned out the reservoir. What's crazy is I had just changed that, the week before. And it's only been a week, and I'm looking in this reservoir that's tipped over, and I couldn't believe like how crazy that water already was. And to think like I had left that water alone, it had to have been over a month. So, and when I saw it, like I'm pretty sure I took pictures and stuff. Maybe I'll find a way to put them online. It was pretty hardcore. But just seeing what a week does versus, what at least a month was, big difference. And if I had that easy to flow stuff, it would have eaten all that stuff, or at least it would have eaten most of it, and I probably could have had it in there that long and it wouldn't have been too big of a deal. But again, with all that being said, these things are still looking really good, and now I'm going to be on top of it, which I have been. So they should be just nothing but perfect. And this last batch of veg newts that I gave it, so you want to be at about 1050. I was at about 1111, I think. So I was about 60 over, something like that. I think that's where I was. I don't know where my notes are. Oh, they're there. Hold on, let me go get my notes. Hell yeah, keeping a journal. Hell yeah, wireless microphones at work no matter where you go. Alright. Yeah, so 1111. You want to be at 1050, and you want to be at 2.1 with the EC. However, I was at 2.2. Check out my notes. Yeah, just did all that last night. Your boy takes notes like he's in fucking school. But it was helpful in doing the math and seeing how much, because I did. So I poured the nutrients in it, and then line 1, I wrote down the ppm, the EC, and the pH. And then the next line below it, I have a spot that says additions, which is all in yellow. So I said adding in 5 milliliters more of Grow B, Grow A. And then the next line is number 2. And so my 887 went to 993, and my 1.7 EC went to 1.98. So now with putting 5 milliliters in extra, I can kind of see how much where these numbers are. And then so I didn't want to go too far, so the next time I wrote adding in 2.5 milliliters more of Grow B, Grow A, and that took my 993 to a 1029, so we're at about 1030. And then I'm an idiot, because clearly the math, it went over 30, and I put in another 2.5. I meant to put in 1. I meant to put in another 1, but instead I just added 2.5 more, and that took it to 1138. Yeah, so I had to pour some more water in there to kind of bring the numbers down. Then I went a little too far, so then I had to put some more Grow A and B in there. But I settled at 1111. I guess Google AI, it said it's fine, especially in the late vegging phase, which pretty much we're in. So they should be okay. And it's only gonna be for like 5 days. These things swallow water, so. Oh man, this is crazy. I can't believe how much more room I have now that that thing is gone. I am freaking excited right now. But I'm more excited to pull this humidifier out and then to close up the tent. And actually, it is cool watching the AI take control of this stuff, because I watch all the graphs, I watch all the numbers, and it's pretty neat because it does learn. it figures shit out unless you got a janky air conditioning kind of unit like I got, because it turns on and off when it wants to, unless I eventually figured out a way to kind of set it so it just kind of turns on automatically right away. But for a while, you know, the first time the thing turns on, it kicks on right away. The next time, the fan's on, but the AC doesn't kick on right away. So the AI had already planned on it being a certain coldness, and now it's not being at that coldness. And then eventually, the condenser kicks on or whatever, and cold air goes in. And now the AI is like, "What the fuck? It's been on for so long. Why wasn't it even colder?" But again, I figured out a way to. My workaround was to just set the AC down to as low as it goes. So no matter what, it's not going to think about, maybe I'll turn on, maybe I won't. It's just going to turn on when that thing gets power. So that's what I did, and it works. With this new setup, I don't think I'm going to need air conditioning. I might. And that'll actually help with the humidity as well, but I don't think I'm going to need it. But we'll see. I'm excited to find out either way. This is crazy. All of this has been crazy and surreal. Man, my thing now is like, where the hell am I gonna put this dehumidifier for another 2 months now? I gotta wait 2 months. And then I can start a new one. And I'm gonna need this then. This is what I was lacking when I started this whole process, and with Coco, blah blah blah, very important. And the whole lighting, like, I got it now. I understand. But dude, like, what a fucking shit show at first that was. All right, well, I've been rambling. I've been a rambling man for too long now. So on that note, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Get this thing out of here. I probably won't even put it away till tomorrow because it's already my bedtime, and I'm only on 2 hours of sleep from the night before. So awesome for me. All right, let's turn this music up. All right, yeah. Oh, that's why. Alright guys, so until next time, I'll see you next time. We might be flowering by then, oh my. Will you see the plants because of the light? It might be turned off. Tight. This. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Have a good night. Have any questions, concerns, let me know. I'll try to help you out the best I can.